What's going on, everyone? Welcome to q.v.o Games here, and welcome back to our weekly Games Coming to Retail for the week of July 23rd. We have a lineup going on of great games, as well as, I'm surprised, because usually from this time we have a little bit of a lull because of the convention season, and a lot of games released during that time, but we have pretty good lineup. It could be because I'm maybe better at gathering information compared to last year, or it could be that people are just releasing more games during this time, which is awesome. Let's get this video going because we do have a lot to cover, and I want to make sure we make this video kind of concise and short for you so we don't waste your time and we give you all the information you need, as well as keep you updated on the new games coming to retail. I am covering the games coming to retail in the US. Keep that in mind. If one of these games get a delay or the release date gets pushed back, I will make sure to update you about that change in its new respective video in its release week. Let's get these games showcased. First things first, coming out July 24th, I'm going to be kind of quick on this one because it's Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I talk about this almost every week. They have a bunch of expansions, so I'm going to be kind of quick on these specific games. However, Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, if you don't know, it's a kind of like a crisis control style game where you have an area on the board and you're trying to manage killing all the enemies. I think it's a fun game, but definitely the IP can be specific a bias for me. Keep that in mind. I love Power Rangers. One of my childhood pop genres that I love watching. So when you're playing this game, keep in mind the game is fun. The mechanics are fun. I'm a little biased because of the theme. However, if this game's not for you, the theme is not for you, I wouldn't recommend buying the game. It doesn't have enough in it that it makes it like a great game for someone who doesn't like Power Rangers, but it's still fun enough for me. And there's other games that do things similar-ish. That way you can find those games instead. Like Pandemic does something similar, but at a little more of a grounder scale compared to like a smaller board, and the gameplay can be a little bit different. Power Rangers of the Grid minion pack is added more minions to the game. July 24th, we also have Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid S.P.D Ranger pack, which adds some more playable characters to the game, which all have different asymmetric abilities. These are just like a different range of the Power Rangers. Also coming out July 24th is going to be the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid storage box. So this is to store all your cards. There's a bunch of cards in this game. I mean, ridiculous amount. And there's not really a good storage solution for the game once you kind of pull it out and have all the expansions. Just another box. And on July 25th, similar to Power Rangers, it's literally the same with mechanics and the same way you play. July 25th is going to be G.I. Joe Mission Critical Midnight Storm, and it's an expansion for like the G.I. Joe Mission Critical game. They play exactly the same with a different skin, so if you don't like Power Rangers, you might like G.I. Joe, maybe consider picking up these expansions in the base game for this. G.I. Joe, this adds some more characters and mission cards to play as well as some more enemies to throw into your game. Coming out July 25th is going to be G.I. Joe Mission Critical Vanguard Strike expansion. This is going to add some more characters as well and some more villains, some new things to consider. And also coming out July 25th is going to be G.I. Joe role-playing game villains miniature sets. So basically, these are going to be miniature sets for the new G.I. Joe role-playing game. I mentioned these just in case someone really does care and play the game often, only because it's the role-playing game, it's miniatures. I wanted to mention it, and if people don't really pick up traction on this, then I'm probably going to stop mentioning the miniatures. These are all coming out from Renegade Games, which is a bunch of expansions. I want to just kind of wrap it up quick because I talk about these so often all the time. Coming up next, we're going to be moving on to Stuff of Legends by Third World Studios, coming out on July 26th. This is going to be an interesting one. So, the board game, Stuff of Legends, I actually have talked about this game a lot, only because I think it has a really cool theme based off the novel, and I want to read the graphic novel really bad. So, basically, there is a war going on, right? Europe is has war-torn beaches, and like everyone's in Europe at the moment for a war. However, in Brooklyn, this kid is there, and he's being threatened by the boogeyman, and the boogeyman and his toys are off to kind of have that mission. So the leader of this mission is going to be this guy here, this colonel here, down here, little guy compared to everyone else, and he is leading the toys on a mission to save the little boy. And in the process of that mission, you're going to be fighting off the boys like old toys as well as other external forces. I thought this is really neat, and only because this reminds me of Stuffed Fables by Plaid Hat Games, and that's one reason why I really, really wanted to play this game, and I still do want to play it. And now that it's coming to retail, good, because I missed the Kickstarter, and game was on Kickstarter before. And yeah, basically, it's a story campaign cooperative game. The only thing I don't like is the fact that you can actually, at one point, turn into the boogeyman, and now it's kind of like a trader style game. If you can take that mechanic out, I really want to try this game out with like the same group I play Stuffed Fables with, only because I was really big fan, and I think this game could be really cool, and I really, really want to try it and play it. Cooperative game until someone turns boogeyman, and then it is a trader style game where the boogeyman's goal is to kind of mess with everyone's plans and such. There's all the cool standees. Looks like some miniatures as well. I'm surprised these are miniatures, but like these aren't, which is like the main characters you play as. Stuff Legends, cooperative board game, a little bit of a trader mechanic. If you're into it, check it out. It's coming out July 26th. Coming up next by Dolphin Hat Games is going to be 800 Pound Gorilla, coming out July 26th as well. 800 Pound Gorilla. Oh, Dolphin Hat Games primarily first. They did a really neat game called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, which is a really fun and fast card game. The whole thing is you're going to be putting cards down saying Taco, Cat, Goat, Cheese, Pizza. And when you're playing these cards, you're going to be doing different things. For example, like it could be like putting your hands in the air when specific something comes out, and the last person to do it like gets knocked out. Or like slapping the table if a specific card comes out and it's like Taco, Cat, Goat, and the card is a goat, then you have to do something specific for the goat card. I can't remember exactly what it is they all do. I don't own a copy of the game, but I think it's a fun little party game to bring out and just like have some crazy chaotic fun. 800 Pound Gorilla kind of buys into that a little bit, but a little more different. They have a great how to play video here, so you can kind of check it out as well and see if it's for you. But 800 Pound Gorilla, you're going to have very similar actions like that. You're going to spin a spinner, you're going to pick out different things, and specifically spinners are going to say like, oh, pick up a gorilla card from around the table when you kind of sort the cards out around the center board, the spinner area, and you have to pick one out, and then the one person with the lightest gorilla or the person with the heaviest gorilla ends up being the winner of that. It's yet again buying into like that chaotic, crazy fun you have when you're playing a game, which I don't think is bad. I think that could be really good for specific groups of people. I actually have a group of friends who love chaos. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's a couple games I bring out with them, and they have loads of fun. I have fun just because usually for me with games, I typically just have a lot of fun playing games and being in that social environment for me. Being in that social space is really is just the best part to me about gaming. I do have my critiques and gripes about specific games I just don't like, but I usually will be play even games I hate or don't like at all. I'll still play again. 800 Pound Gorilla by Dolphin Hat Games is going to come out July 26th. Check it out. It's going to be more chaotic fun, and if you haven't played this one, if you haven't played Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza and you love those chaotic, crazy fun games, try that one out as well. They're a pretty good price. I mean, like 15, 10, 20 bucks around there. And honestly, replayability is there. It's just fun, chaotic fun that you can take to a bar, a restaurant, while you're waiting somewhere. Just find a table. Coming out July 26th. Coming up next, the Shivers, coming out on July 28th. So the Shivers, this one's also really interesting and cool. It's a mystery adventure game, but with pop-up aspects of it. So things pop up, and I want to show you what that looks like here. So it's like a pop-up box kind of thing, right? And you go through, and it's a mystery adventure. This is another game I was really excited to check out, and I really want to see it in action before I jump in and buy it, because I like that aspect of it. It's like a pop-up book, and when you open it up, and you have your locations all here, and it's a little bit like a mystery game. So the game itself, they're all hand-built. You include 6 pop-up rooms with amazing miniature work of art, rooms featuring 3-dimensional objects and interactable doors, cabinets, and such. You select one of the members of the Shivers family, and you play with each their own standee and character dashboard, and they all have their own unique strengths, so it's a little bit asymmetric. They're just part of the team. I believe I've met them before at Gamma. I can't remember exactly if I have or haven't at this point. However, you have like standees and such, and you're trying to solve the mystery going on. The biggest pull for me is the fact that it's like a pop-up book kind of thing going on. That is super awesome. I really want to play this game. Past that, I don't know a lot more about the game. Even with the kind of like the research I did, it's more like a mystery style game where you're trying to solve a mystery, and you have the pop-up stuff, you have clues, and you talk to specific NPCs, and they give you like clues and such. Cool stuff. Coming out on July 26th, The Shivers. Definitely one I want to check out really bad. Coming up next by Aris Games, The Rich and the Good, coming out on July 28th. So, The Rich and the Good. I was really uninterested about this game for a while, and I'm going to switch over to BGG just to show you some pictures while I talk to you. I was really just like, whatever about this game. Then I read up on it, and I'm like, well, that sounds like kind of fun. So, in the game itself, you're playing around with like the stock market essentially, and as you kind of mess with the stock market, you're gonna have cards in front of you, and those cards are going to affect your left opponent and your right opponent in the game, and you're gonna have your own little market going up and down and such. And as you're putting down bets and stuff and buying property, buying land, all this stuff, being the richer and the richest person, you also have to donate to charity. So when the interesting part about it is the person who donated less to charity by the end of the game is actually the loser. That is super funny and interesting. Only because I think that would be like you manage your money trying to make your buys, and you're like, oh, now X person just donated like $50,000. I don't know how. I don't know what like the scale of money is, but like let's say $50,000 to charity, which puts me below, and like you have to kind of like manage that. Okay, well I got to buy this land, then I got to donate so much more to be ahead of that. I don't know. I just feel like the puzzle seems interesting. I gotta play it one time to really grasp my head around it. It sounds and looks really cool. I was interested. I was like, look at this game. I'm like, it looks whatever. Then I read into it. I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. So this is gonna be The Rich and the Good by Ares Games, coming out on July 28th. Definitely one I want to check out really bad. Another game by Ares Games coming out July 28th is going to be, and I might say this wrong, Cangaceiros. I'm assuming that is because it's a Brazilian term, and I hope that's how I'm saying it, only because they also speak Portuguese there. So I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Cangaceiros. I'm gonna go with that. And in here, you're playing as bandits who they're being abused by landowners called corones, and the government. So when you're playing as you're kind of like you're part of a band, it's like a little gang basically. You're trying to make your leader or your boss kind of like retire early and have his goals met, and you're also trying to earn the most fame by killing the enemy, the corneries who are out to get you as well. So you each have your own little gang, your little group, and you're trying to survive the waves of attacks and such, and try to get the most fame as well as doing that. This game too, the theme is a little off for me. And I'm only saying that because like I don't know, the whole gang thing is just not really my type of theme. But the mechanics and the gameplay looks interesting. You're going to have 7 cards, and you're going to use those cards to collect resources. You're going to go to like send them out to do this, or send them out to do this action, to go grab this, and such. And you're going to be doing that to kind of gain resources, to manage those resources, to upgrade your gang, and fix different things going on in your region to try to defend against the onslaughts of attacks. Super interesting stuff. I want to give it a shot before I say anything more, because I really think it's I think it sounds cool and fun. It's like the whole, like, it's almost like a defense game. You're like defending yourselves, but you're trying to do it the best way possible compared to everyone else. I want to check it out. I want to definitely check it out. It's going to be by Ares Games, Cangaceiros. It's coming out July 28th. Coming up next by Ergo Ludo Editions is going to be Ensemble, and it's coming out on July 28th. Ensemble, it's one that I've been interested in only because I think it's a interesting party game where you're trying to guess what everyone's thinking, and you do that. So the whole thing, let me explain this game. I'm really excited about this one, so it's going to come out a little blurry. It's like coming out all at once because I'm just overexcited about how cool and interesting this game is. In this game, you're all trying to vote on a card, and you're trying to all like be inside each other's head somehow. And where you're doing that, there's going to be a card in the middle, and I'm going to open up a picture here so you can see, and you all have to find out, okay, so like what exactly matches or gives you the vibe of this card, and you all have to vote the same. And you do that, and there's different levels to it, right? So there's level 1 and then level 2, and you gotta go up the more you do it. That style of progression reminds me a lot about this game called The Mind. And even the game itself, there's no communicating, right? When you vote, you can't be like, oh, vote number 1 or 2. There's no clues, no nothing. You just have to be in everyone's head. In The Mind, you're trying to sequentially put the cards in your hand in order, and there's cards from 1 to 100. You shuffle the cards, and you deal out so many cards to everybody. You're trying to make sure that everyone puts down the cards in sequential order without talking. So the other player, the cooperative player, and it's a cooperative game, the other player can have a 2, and you have a 5. You want to make sure they put the 2 down before you put the 5, but you can't talk. That's a little bit of the mind. But in Ensemble, you're going to have a card in the middle, and you're trying to find out what gives you the vibe of this card. And then you're going to be voting, and you want everyone to vote the same. And there's going to be different levels. You're trying to get to level 9 to win. That's awesome. I do love that style of progression in games, and that's just kind of it's fun. It brings out like another style of game similar to The Mind, and just brings it out in a different fashion, right? A different fashion, and I appreciate that because I think The Mind's a great, fun little card game. It's super neat and easy to play, and I think it's created some very memorable, epic moments for when I play with my game group. So Ensemble is going to be one where you're using pictures now. You're trying to get everyone to vote for the same picture of what does this picture look like, what does it resemble. And there's going to be cards you have to vote on, and then you vote on it, and that's going to be, everyone wants to be the same vote. And then you have lives and such, and you move up. Ensemble coming on July 28th by Ergo Ludo Editions. Definitely one I want to check out. I'm excited, so check it out yourself. Coming up next by AEG is going to be Shake That City, coming out July 28th. Shake That City. This game was on Kickstarter before, and now it's coming to retail. Awesome stuff. I have a copy of this game. I'm going to do some coverage on it, so if you want to decide then when I put out my video, that's awesome. However, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it now. This game reminds me a little bit about Tiny Towns, just different, of course, and evolved a bit, right? So in this game, you're going to be having a shaker. You're going to build the shaker out apparently in the box, and you're going to shake it up. You're going to have patterns, and the patterns, I'm going to move away from that just not so distracting, and I want to show you some more pictures here. So pattern over here, for the first player, who's the active player at the time, is going to choose, well, I want the blues. And with these blues, you're going to put that pattern of blues onto your board somehow. And you're going to have a lot of just placement there and trying to create like the best city. You're going to be scoring depending on what's next to what and how you fill up your board. And that's interesting. I think the shaker is really interesting. It's really neat. It adds like a little more of like presence to the game. That way you're not like bored and you're doing something. It just adds a little more of that, which is good. And you shake it up, you push it, and then you get a pattern down. That's really distracting. And see if I can find like a different picture that's not so active. That's the best one we got. So you're going to have this pattern right here, and the pattern you're going to choose a color, and the color is going to be the one, that pattern you chose. Like, for example, if I pick the reds, you have to put 2 reds next to each other on your board somewhere. And the same thing with blues. You have to put that same pattern down as well. A little bit of tile placement, a little bit of randomness on how you do so. Interesting game. I can't wait to try it. I want to see what it's all about and see if it's for me. Shake That City by AEG, coming out July 28th. We are at the end of the video. Thank you for making it this far. That is awesome that in fact you want to listen to me tell you about all these cool games that you can purchase yourself this upcoming week. Thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate it. Quick reminder, I will be at Gen Con. That is next week already. I'll be at Gen Con and I'm going to release some videos the same. The Games Con Retail video doesn't change. It's going to be out same time on a Monday at 8 in the morning Pacific time. And we are going to be putting out 2 videos as well. 15... I don't know if it's 15 or 20. They're probably like, I don't know, 10 to 20 games that I think you should check out at Gen Con as well as purchase at Gen Con. So, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good one.